I'm Rising Hero, your host, and we have Dandy over here.
Hey, how's it
Okay,
going, man? Oh,
okay,
like way up
Dandy.
there.
What's
Ah,
how's it going?
not bad, just taking care of my kid, dealing with that issue.
Shit, type shit. Kids be crazy sometimes. Baby
Yeah,
mad.
bro, bro, fatherhood's a mess, but it's a nice mess. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
A nice mess. What do you mean nice mess?
Ugh, bro. So, like, for the past half an hour, my kid pretty much went ballistic just due to the fact that, he was hungry, and, we just started feeding him salads, so, he started going ballistic over that.
Motherfucker's going crazy over solid foods. He's just happy about that shit.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's hard to determine like how much, you're supposed to feed a baby when it comes to solid foods, I guess. So it can end up kind of a mess there,
I get you.
literally and figuratively.
That motherfucker up trucking everything like fuck you, I don't like this type shit. I wanna go to breast milk type shit. It's like, what are you doing to me? I'm a baby. No, I'm glad you're a dad though. First time for everything though. It's first time for everything. That should be wild. I'm happy you doing with
What
that
do you
shit.
What do you mean, bro? I'm everyone's father. I still
Everybody's
haven't found the milk for a lot of people. That's all I'm saying.
you be a dad. How you dad for everybody? What do you mean by?
I don't know. Sometimes it fucking feels like that though, bro. Like I'll be listening to people talk to me about their problems, and I'm just like, bro, like here's the solution. Why aren't you taking it?
That sounds like a therapist at that point. It's like, I've listened to your concerns. I know what you want. Here's your fucking advice. Take that shit. But some people just don't take that shit sometimes. Some people just be like, I want to hear what I want to hear type shit. Some people, they're just free to
No, you know
listen.
what? I, I'll dead ass constantly get into conversations with people about their personal problems. And 99% of the time, first off, I just don't really want to fucking talk about their personal problems. But they unpack their fucking issues for some reason on this game more than anything else.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, you get to meet new people. But when it all comes down to it, man, I feel like 99% of the time, most people understand their issues, and they understand that they just don't want to fix them. I really feel like it's more of like people are avoiding it just to get around not wanting to do the things that they try to do.
So they're
Because
just
like if you think
avoiding the
about it, like
problem.
if you
Okay.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like the real reason they don't, because like if you just focus on things that you want to actually do, you're gonna do them. But
Hmm.
like most people are stuck in this delusional state of mind where they really just want the illusion of who they could be rather than the actual like reality of who they are. Because like if you think about it, when you look in the mirror, that's who you actually are in the current
Yeah.
time frame that you're in. Now in the future you could be a little different here or there, but the reality is like most people, if they just focused on doing the work rather than dealing with the feelings or the mentality behind it, they would find themselves a little bit more successful in life. I don't know.
Why do you think they want to like live in that dream state, like that delusion world?
I feel like it's more just they're really really bored, so they get these ideas of like take a lot of people that want to do like gameplay videos or something. You know,
Yeah.
they end up um kind of like taking after like a YouTuber, or like it could even be like maybe you like the idea of being a writer or something, and you look at some famous writers, and you got the idea from some book that you enjoyed. Like let's say like people that I don't know read Harry Potter as a kid, and
Mm.
suddenly in the future they want to write a big novel or something. I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fantasy of being a character, like I guess I'm not making too much sense here, but
I mean,
to put it simply, like people want to be their fantasies more than they want to be their reality.
I think it's good to take after someone that you like. Like, if you want to be a famous YouTuber and like, oh yeah, that guy's famous and he's doing this type of shit, maybe I might try that. It looks cool and nice and shit, but you never should like take after him. You should have your own style type of shit. You should never, if you want
Yeah,
to write
but
like a book, you don't want to
hmm?
like write a big ass book about the same thing like Harry Potter. That shit's huge, huge.
You'd be surprised, but that's not really necessarily what I'm going after. I'm going after the idea that like people live in like a fantasy world of their own like creation. Because realistically, let's say you wanted to live a damn near perfect life. What would a damn near perfect life look like, right? I don't know. Maybe you exercise, you eat right, you sleep enough, you go to work a job that you don't totally hate,
Mm,
you make good money, um, you have a nice place, you have a nice, nice things. You have a good relationship with your family and good relationship with your friends and your significant other, if you have one or not.
mm.
You know,
I mean, you said a
um,
perfect life, Dandy. The perfect life shit. I would be having tons of money and I would have like a beautiful wife that knows how to cook and shit. I would be chilling, working the best. I wouldn't even be working at that point. I would just be chilling on in my house making like income, passive income, and just chilling with my family and kids if I have any, grilling out, having my friends over, beautiful, and just enjoying the weather outside. I wouldn't even. That would be a perfect life right there. And having the cuisine that you would never have, spending a lot of money without actually having to look at your bank account at all. Like some people do that, having to look at your phone all the time, checking about your gas and seeing if you wasted out too much gas because that shit's expensive.
oh my God. Yeah, no, no kidding, man. No kidding. But
Shit's.
no, I don't know. As far as what I mean necessarily, I guess, is just that a lot of people. How can I really describe this? It's like they want to live very specific lives, but
Mm,
they don't want to do the work. Let's say you wanted to get physically fit, right? The
yeah.
reality of getting physically fit is not as hard as most people think it is. Like a good 45 minutes a day, you can crunch that out in a year or two and be physically fit. I mean, unless you got some extraordinary circumstances behind your health that prevents you, which whatever, that's besides the point. But for the majority of people, it would be a lot easier than they think it would be, but then they like overwhelm themselves with like nonsensical ideas of what standards they want to hold themselves to. Like when people mention the word perfect, really it just means to do things completely. It doesn't mean to succeed or fail. It just means do something all the way through. And I just feel like people miss the point on that one.
Wow, that is quite a lot. Yeah, I feel like that too. My God, sometimes I don't. I think people look at things where they want to do it, but then they outweigh too many decisions. Like outweigh the good and bad, and they look at the bad too much instead of the good, or they think people. I think way too much about shit. Like way too much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is
Like
100% fact.
like when I went to like Not even a gym. Like sometimes a gym or sometimes like talking to someone type shit. I would just like rehearse like over type shit on my head. Like, yo, I have to do this. I gotta do this. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to work out and have to like lift this weight and shit. I'm like, oh my god. Or like talking to somebody. Like, yo, what am I supposed to say? What lines am I supposed to come up with? It really does not matter. It, no one's supposed to have lines or like supposed to think about shit they do. You're supposed to do it. What I figured out, like it took me years and help from you and help from a lot of other people. Just do this shit, get it done, and not have to think
Well,
about it.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I think that in part has to do with the idea that people think their mind has to control everything. Like, most people don't understand that your mind doesn't necessarily move your body. Your brain does, but your mind, like who you think you are and all your thoughts and your thinking, like you
Mm,
don't necessarily need to think to grab a cup and to sit it in a different spot. You can totally just grab a cup and sit it in a different spot. You might have to have like a small reaction in your physical meat brain, but as far as like your mind, the thought centers and all the data that's in there, it doesn't have to really be used to do that. And a lot of people they think when they go to like exercise or do like a tedious task or something like that,
mm.
they just think like, oh, I gotta do it like this and I gotta do it. And it's like, bro, just let your body do what your body does and let your mind just be like focused on something else, or maybe like read an audiobook, or do something else with your mind. You don't have to think about moving your body
I
unless
think
it's
that
like some new
stemmed
task.
from Dandy, from us not learning about that at all. That's not getting taught that our mind's not supposed to control us. Like we're supposed to be the master of our mind, not the mind is supposed to be the master of us. Like where do we learn
But
that shit
yeah,
from?
I guess it's I guess it's Western idealism, like a lot of philosophy in Western ideas has to do with like mind over matter and all this stuff like that. But if you really think about it, man, the mind was created way after the matter of the universe. So just let the matter do what it does. Let your body do the actions and just write down a list of tasks to do and just let your body flow with it. It's 100% fine to do that. You'll succeed 99% more. Even if you fail at every task every single day,
Hmm.
if you're focused on actually just getting them done, you'll be more successful just in the long run,
Oh,
just because you're actually doing something.
about that, about like failing and stuff. I actually looked at this scientist called I think Huberman. He says, if you fail at stuff constantly, like keep on doing and failing and failing and failing, but you're trying your best, it's like your mind's like plastic almost. It kind of wraps, it expands through it. It kind of wraps around what you're trying to do, and if you fail and fail, it kind of learns what's going on and seeing what errors it's making, and it tries to correct those errors pretty much. Like at a simple task or even a hard task, it accomplishes it by failing as many
Well, yeah,
times as possible.
that goes back to like when I was, I guess, alluding slightly to unless you're doing a new task, you can let your body just do what it does. Like when you're doing a new task all around, you just genuinely have to correct things as you're doing them. So that's a totally fine thing to do with your mind. Like, let's say you're, I don't know, focused on a brand new task. You're learning how to use some power tool.
Yeah.
You want to focus your mind and really get in there and figure every little detail out of how you're doing it. Otherwise, you might cut your hand off or some crazy nonsense.
You don't want to
And
fucking
maybe
do
even
that.
with like a martial arts or something. You could take martial arts or boxing into an example. Um, you're in a fight, right? And hitting, blah blah blah. You're moving out of the way. For the most part, you train your body to have those
Muscle memory type shit.
automatic reactions. Yeah, yeah, the muscle memory. But obviously, between the muscle memory moments and the new moments that you're having with this fight, you have to, correct actions, of course. You know.
I feel like your body, like, as many errors it happens, like if someone punches you like this, or like does an uppercut or left hook or some shit, your body automatically like corrects itself because like shit, I don't want to get hit again, so I have to do this, I have to do this. It's like your body's automatically correcting like without you having to think about it. It just corrects itself because it's like it's an instinct pretty much to protect yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too, but let's say you're putting something on a high shelf and you see something tipping off the shelf a little bit. Your brain and your mind might instantly think, hey, that's tipping. So then you can use that course correction of your automatic like muscle memory to go reach over here as like an instinct based on like your memory pattern of things that you've seen before. Like, oh, I know that's going to fall because I've seen things fall off shelves before. And it seems very similar to that moment. And that's like kind of the course correction. But I mean, it's life is simpler than it seems. It's just people tend to overcomplicate a lot of things, man.
Shit. I felt like life was like almost against you at a point. Like you weren't supposed to. It was such a hard thing to do. It was like so complicated and like you didn't know what path to take and shit. And like people knew everything. Like you had the teachers, you had the adults that like were like
Yeah.
not gods, but like they were so old that they had so much knowledge base. Like I don't know how to
Yeah, yeah.
say it type shit.
It's I get what you're saying. It's definitely a surprise to see how like as a kid you look at adults like that really have things together, and even the ones that don't, it kind of seems like they've got it all figured out. But for the most part, most things that are going to happen in people's lives really are just you focus on a skill set, you learn that skill set, and you get decently good at it, and then you're going to like come across events or like moments where you could apply that skill set and gain some sort of like not I won't say necessarily fame, but like renown for it, and then it can come into like play and get you into different communities and get you to be more well known and more open to the world, I guess. Because in the end of the day, man, like most things that you're gonna do are gonna be like communal. Most people don't like the fact that you have to interact with other people to have a good life. It is a thing though. Like you do,
People, why is
and
that? Why do people
it,
like want to go against you, and like you don't want to? They don't want you to interact with actual good people. They just they pray for your downfall.
oh man, I wouldn't necessarily say it's that they're. Well, some people do pray for your downfall. Some people are just assholes like that. But like for the most part, I feel as though most people have been robbed from social situations when they're young. And so when they become adults, it becomes hard to deal with a society full of like people that have never had real interactions that are like deep and meaningful without it turning into like some crazed venting about like depressive situations that you've been in. Again, it goes back to like the original topic where it's I've heard a lot of people the only way they know how to interact with people is by like just spewing out their venting or frustration, or they'll like get mad about the fact that there's like surface level interaction happening when you first meet somebody. Like somebody talks to you about like the weather being nice, and for some reason everybody gets upset about the guy that said the weather was nice outside. It's like how else are you gonna like start a conversation? You know, you got to use that surface level stuff.
No,
Because
I
imagine
gotta
how
stop you
wacky it
real
would be
quick.
if
I
I
gotta
walked
stop
up to
you.
someone.
Stop you real quick.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
They're like this guy was talking about the fucking weather. He was talking about the fucking weather.
Yeah.
Like why? Why is he talking about the fucking weather? It's not the day for this. Not the day for this.
Oh
Damn
man.
it.
Yeah, for real. Like I see a lot of that too, though, man. Like people will blow up about the smallest things in life. Don't get me wrong, I do it all the time too, and I really feel like it mostly just has to do with the fact that you know you burn yourself out doing shit you don't want to do all day, and then you end up like in this weird path of like I wouldn't say self hate, but like delusion, I guess, where everything just becomes like repetitive thought bases, and you just start tricking yourself into believing like crazy things, especially about yourself. Like I know a lot of people that have weird egos, man. They'll outwardly say they hate themselves and they're not the best and they're terrible, blah blah blah. But like their inner thought process when they're alone is just them hyping themselves up in like maniacal ways. You know what I mean? Like
What?
they'll sit there and have like if have you ever like talked to like a lot of people nowadays? They have like
Yeah.
these delusional states of grandeur where they'll believe that they're like secretly the best and that they're like the main character of like a crazy story arc. And if they just got this one thing in order, their whole life would become amazing and fruitful and crazy. And it's like, bro, it's the small things in the day that count. It's not the big things. Big moments are cool. They're really nice. But for the most part, those big moments are actually the small ones, and the small moments are actually the big ones. Whatever you focus on day to day is going to be the thing that like really makes you into like who the hell you wanted to be.
What do you think the small moments are that you should focus on in order to like get those big moments to
Um,
happen actually?
this is gonna sound like a fucking bummer for a lot of people. And so I'm gonna start with with something outside of that, and then I'm gonna double back to what you just asked me. So I'm gonna start by saying what most people do is they beat themselves up for drinking, smoking, jerking off, laying around doing nothing, watching YouTube shorts, eating chips and crackers and cookies and gummies, watching TV, watching porn, slumming around with shitty friends that don't actually exist to be their actual friend, venting their emotions and frustrations everywhere and then wondering why people get fucking mad at them, listening to people vent all day long instead of just saying, hey, I don't have time for this, I'm sorry, but stuff like that. And they'll beat themselves up over all their bad habits, basically.
Hmm.
When in reality, the things that most people want to do is exactly what they should be doing. They just really don't actually want to do them. What these small things are is the routines that you have daily. You clean your room, you clean your house, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you have, whatever you're working with, your room, your apartment, your house, trailer, whatever you're working with. You clean it up, clean it real nice. You eat some vegetables, man. Put some vegetables in your body. Put some lean meats in your body. If you don't eat meat, you can go with beans or some other stuff, like beans, nuts, legumes, seeds, stuff like that. So you fix up your diet. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have, you can have some cookies every once in a while. Just chill out with the sugar a little bit, because for the most part, sugar causes most of the world's problems when it comes to poor diet. You maybe get some exercise in there. If you already have like a high, let's say you're a construction worker or you work on your feet all day, maybe just get some more rest. I firmly believe that a lot of people's problems, these chemical imbalances that everybody always thinks they have, really comes down to how did I mess myself up? So how you get your body out of whack and how you get yourself into a depressive state, the easiest ways usually comes down to what do you interact with. So what are you watching all day? Are you watching a bunch of depressing stuff? Are you listening to depressing music? Are you eating crappy food? Are you not sleeping enough? Are you sleeping too much? Are you not washing your clothes and cleaning your room? Are you not, like the simple stuff is what matters. And then after that, another small thing you can do, pick up like one or two things that are going to boost you as a human being. Maybe you learn a new language, or maybe you pick up coding, or maybe you learn to draw, or maybe you learn to do something, like learn a skill set that will eventually lead you to something more bigger. But the big things that people are always focused on is, how can I become famous? How can I become wealthy? How can I become successful? How can I do? And it's like, bro, all that stuff starts really seriously with the very small stuff. Very few, if anybody, on this earth has ever become super successful without having first gotten the small things in line. And people hate that answer, but that's the real answer, man. You got to like really focus on the small stuff first, because those are the things that are going to matter the most.
Yeah, how are you
You
supposed to
got to
like
do them
make
every
your
day
bed
too,
type
and you got to be
shit?
excited.
If you want, how are you supposed to be famous if you don't make your bed, eat like good food, and work out? Like,
So here's the thing, right? A lot of people nowadays will look at it and they'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna die anyway. Who cares if you eat right or sleep or whatever?" And it's like, bro, first off, so making the bed thing, okay, maybe it's not that important, right? But if your whole house is a mess, you're gonna feel like crap. You're gonna beat yourself up over it. You might not think you are, but I guarantee you, if I watched your thoughts all day long, if you wrote them all in a book all day long, it's going to come up at least once or twice in that book. Feeling like crap all day, not having energy, feeling tired. These are the things that people always bring up, and they're very easy to resolve. Number one, go to a doctor, make sure you got your blood work in order. Make sure you don't have cancer or something, because seriously, like that's can be a real big issue. You could have some weird disease, get that checked off the list. After that, let's say you don't have some weird disease, fix your life up a little. And yes, it's going to take a little effort, but it's not as much effort as you think it is. And the reward is startling. Like, you'd be surprised on how much most people's lives would change if they focused on the smaller things instead of trying to, like, become super successful just randomly. And people have that delusion. They really do, man. They think they're going to randomly become ultra successful when they don't even know how to, like, get up, go to work on time, or even apply for jobs. Some people don't even know how to, like, get a higher paying job than they get. They'll work at a entry level position their whole life and wonder why they don't make more than minimum wage. And no hate towards anybody making minimum wage. You got to do what you got to do. But that's another thing you got to learn is how to use that job as leverage.
yeah, I gotta cut you off real quick. That was exactly what I was. You exactly explained me like fuck yeah. A couple of years ago, even now sometimes. I thought maybe if I do like if I think big, if I like, oh yeah, I want maybe this like one thing I do, this one class I take, this one game I upload on YouTube. Like I meet this one person, like I don't have to do anything else except meet this one person. One person is gonna or meet this one girl and they're gonna change my life forever. I thought that one moment was gonna happen where that shit where it turns me all the way
Oh, we all
around.
did, bro.
Everybody thinks
We
that.
all did.
Everybody
Trust me.
thinks that.
I had my fair share of delusions. So another thing is for a lot of younger people, they don't seem to really yet grasp how easy everything is.
Hmm.
they think everything is so overwhelmingly difficult, and so they end up not doing the things they really wanted to do. I promise most people, they probably thought high school was boring and annoying and too much work and all that stuff. But if you look back at like high school, as it's a prime example, the most work that you really had to do was like a page per class per day. That's 7 pages. If you were in like higher learning classes, you would have had to maybe do 3 pages. So 7 times 3, that's still nothing, man. I can crank out a book nowadays in like 2 or 3 hours, like 300, 400 pages in 2 or 3 hours. Just crank that bad boy right out. And yet, me, for an example, I was super lazy when it came to that stuff. And people don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear the fact that they're being lazy. But the truth is, they are. They're being lazy, and the laziness comes from animosity towards the tasks they would rather not do, because they've been so overwhelmed with entertainment that they find the simple things that make them successful utterly and entirely boring.
I get you on that because
Weird.
like shit that I did a long time ago, like homework and shit. I'm like, this shit not interesting at all. Like I can watch a YouTube video or play games, and this shit's more like it take it's more. It's not time. Like I don't have to worry about like being right or wrong. I can just hop on something and just have like dopamine release. I love my dopamine release all the time. That shit didn't give you nothing.
So the weirdest thing is the whole like dopamine release thing is just it's a whole so if you look at actual neurochemistry, this is going to surprise a lot of people. I implore them to Google it. I really say Google the hell out of this. For the most part, when it comes to depression pills and when it comes to anxiety meds and when it comes to like dopamine release as an idea that people have nowadays, for the most part, it's 100% wrong. Serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin really do control a lot of things, but for the most part, you're not actually getting those types of releases. So dopamine, most people think, oh, I watch a YouTube video or I, play a video game and I get a dopamine release. But the actual dopamine release is a precursor to the task. It's not actually given to you after the task. So the idea of going to do the task is the dopamine release. So you get a dopamine release not because you do something, but because you get it's the thing that motivates you to go do something, right? That dopamine is the actual released thing that is the feeling to go do something. Let's say I sit here and I'm like, I want to play video games now. That is a dopamine release.
Oh,
The
that's
feeling
pretty
to want to
thought.
go do something. So what people don't know is that what you get during and after the task that you do is actually an endorphin release. and they are quite different, because once you realize that the only thing inhibiting your success at doing the things you don't like to do is just the frame of reference that you have for that thing. Let's say I hate washing dishes. What if I change my frame of reference to I really enjoy listening to music, so now I can spend time listening to music while washing dishes? You get that moment away from everybody, you're washing dishes, no one's really going to bother you because they're like, oh, he's doing a chore, that's great. We'll let him be. No one's going to stop you and be like, stop washing those dishes, you piece of crap. No one's going to do that. They're going to be like, dude, he's washing the dishes, hell yeah. So if you can change your frame of reference to like, hey, this is the positive thing that I actually want to do, and if I really want something else along with it, then you can add things to that too. Like, you don't just have to go exercise. You could listen to a book that you really wanted to read, and not just like, you don't even have to read like some educational book. It could be some fantasy book, or you listen to a fun podcast, or wink wink. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
you could
this
do like a lot of
podcast right
yeah, you
here.
could
Why
do a lot of
not?
cool things. Yeah, yeah. But you could do a lot of cool things. And also, number one, if a task ever seems too hard, you probably either don't know what you're doing, or you're putting way too much emphasis on the minor details.
Hmm.
Exercise. Let's say you want to exercise. I'm being 100% serious when I say this. You don't have to go to the gym and like hardcore lift weights and do all this crazy stuff. Let's say you just want to go for walks every day. You could totally do that's totally fine. You know, like that's acceptable. Like if you want to go for a 45-minute walk, go for the 45-minute walk. If you want to go for a swim, go for a swim. If you like, I don't know, doing work around your house, as long as it's getting your body moving, that's fine, bro. Like you don't have to go to a gym if you don't want to, but just, move your body. And don't just move your body in like stiff ways where you're like, a lot of people go to work and they'll move their body in a stiff way and they'll injure themselves and their body will get achy. But I'm talking like move your whole body, get that whole thing moving. Like move them legs, move them arms, move that back, move your shoulders, everything. Get it all in weird positions that you don't normally move it in.
Yeah, become a
Fuck it,
strip
bro. Like,
dancer in your work.
and
Become a pole
yeah,
dancer.
go strip. Yeah, go. Apply for a job at Wendy's and fucking strip on the fucking tables. That's you can use that one anytime you want.
Hey,
That's right from
customers,
Dandy
come over
Dance.
here. I got you. Let me give you a lap dance, eh? You, it's on me.
Yeah, you slide instead of sliding down the pole, you're sliding down the children's slide
You're coming like,
right into the
hey,
ball
what it
pit, bro.
do?
Oh my god.
Get all the moms over there. Like, hey, I know you want me. I got that sexy body, girl.
Yo, speaking of that, man, I gotta be 100% honest. I find it really corny how a lot of dudes, specifically, who we got in here? Who's joining us on this
Who's joining
adventure?
here?
Is that Suelo? Oh shit! Welcome over,
Yo, welcome,
Suelo. We're
Swirl.
hitting the pod. We're hit. Oh shit! Down. Take a load off and join in on our conversation, bro. I just want to like touch on the subject briefly, not too long because typically this conversation usually yields negative insights. I guess is what I would say. But another weird thing that a lot of people do nowadays is they tend to go into weird ideals of
Oh fuck! I misspun the
relationships.
balls.
We punched himself with the balls. No, people tend to go into like weird ideals of like relationships. It's almost as if like people fear being lonely so much that they just can't get over the fact that relationships aren't really meant to resolve those like deep loneliness ridden issues. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of people have that like fallacy that if they find a relationship with some woman or some guy, that they'll suddenly like correct the absentness of having somebody in their life.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people just want a relationship just for that. The feeling of affection, pretty much. I don't know me, but most people do want like that type of person just to hang out with and tell their feelings to. I mean, somebody to be there because we don't
I
talk
don't know.
about our emotions and shit.
I don't know, man. This might be like the one true toxic thing that I honestly believe in, but I don't buy that most emotions are real. Now, don't get me wrong, emotions are real, but I just don't buy the fact that most people's emotions they have all day long
Yeah.
are actually based in reality. I believe that, like, how sometimes people's brains will have those like random thoughts all day long, those
Yeah.
background thoughts that a lot of people have. I feel strongly that a lot of people's emotions are the exact same thing, and they just get caught up on like one or two, and that becomes their general mood or vibe throughout their life. When in reality, it's just like a delusional state of like reoccurring background emotion. And I feel like it's almost a cop out to try and get in a relationship just to unburden your emotions constantly onto them. Really burns you the hell out.
I feel that. Holy shit. I never thought about like that though. To burden other people with your emotions. That's a big crazy actually.
Well, no, yeah, no, that's usually how like most relationships end up failing, though. No, is
Just
that like one person will overburden, or and then the other will underburden?
pretty much load all your emotions just in that one person.
It's frustrating. And then you get like stuck in this toxic loop cycle of like emotional insecurity, and then mo- you know jealousy and a whole bunch of other things. Like you just get in like a weird toxic loop cycle with them.
So you don't think
It's,
anybody
it's not a good look.
or most people are pretty much healthy going into a relationship like thinking about it like, oh shit, I really want a relationship because this is gonna like really help my life out type shit. It's really not gonna help your life out.
I no, well, so a relationship, like a real relationship, is it's a responsibility. Like it's not. It's almost like going back to the tasks that you should be doing compared to the tasks that you do. Like if you go out and you drink and you party and you smoke and you have fun, your life's probably going to get really messed up really quickly. But what I tend to see is that people kind of do the same thing with relationships, and they don't notice that they're doing it. And then they'll get into like crazy arguments and bitter disputes, almost as if they're having the arguments with themselves, but towards other people. It's very strange.
It is very strange. You have to be knowing what you're actually doing. You can't be really delusional with anything.
Yeah, I mean it's fine to be delusional. You can have dreams and hopes and wishes, but like again, it just goes back to the idea that like a lot of people's emotions tend to be background emotions, and people get caught up in them
Background
instead of just
emotion.
yeah, again, relationships are a responsibility. Like you have a responsibility to treat the other person right. You have a responsibility to yourself to take care of yourself and ensure that your mind isn't going wonky and that you're doing a bunch of bad actions. Because like the number one thing in a relationship is you have to make sure that you're not the bad actor, right? But a lot of people tend to suddenly turn into gaslighters or emotional manipulators to attempt not to be the bad actor. When in reality, all you have to do is just not engage in the activities that cause you to have that negative relationship to begin with.
What do you think that stems from, like, actually being the bad actor? Like, do you think that's from, like, looking from other relationships? Like, how it's been, like, friends or family type shit? Or do they,
I think
what do you
most
think
of
they
it's
based off
projection,
of?
bro. I,
Projection?
I feel like most people um have like a deep dark part of their soul that they want to just neglect and pretend that it doesn't exist. Like they want to pretend this goes into like the whole shadow self, right? So like the idea is that you have like a whole bunch of parts of yourself that you want to it's not repression, it's regression more like. It's like you hide it in yourself over and you have like a mask over top of it, and it's like you're pretending like those things didn't happen, even though they're in loop in your brain all day long. And so what happens when you play a record over and over again? Eventually other people are going to start hearing it, and so what happens is you start spewing that stupid nonsensical shit and all that negative bullshit that you placed on yourself towards other people. It's just projection, bro. And I feel like that's mostly what creates a bad relationship and what creates a bad identity.
So it
'Cause
just really comes from your inner self then.
Sort of. Again, I'm not one to believe that the inner self actually exists. I believe that's nonsense. A lot of people want to believe it exists. I firmly believe that the majority of what you become is just a mix of what you try to pretend doesn't exist and what the reality is. Like, if your internal self matches your external self perfectly, you're not going to have that many issues unless you're like a crackhead. You know, like
That's extreme.
if you
Yeah.
accept being a crackhead, then more power to you, I guess. But like, that's not a good choice. But you know, I don't think I've ever met a crackhead that was happy with being a crackhead. So
I mean, you never know. Crackheads are
I
pretty
mean, they
fucking happy.
probably yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could be having a blast if they have enough crack, I guess.
Yeah. And a rich crackhead would be
No,
even
no,
happier.
yeah.
They'd have the amounts that they even would dream
Until they're
for
broke.
until they're broke
Yeah,
and
until
like
they're broke.
a trillionaire, a billionaire crackhead that, I mean, they can make their own supplies. Like, I don't, they would just never run out of money because they would make their own crack, pretty much. That would be how would they get out of it? I mean, they would just think it's wild. It's wild what I'm telling you about now, but what if somehow it was illegal, right, to sell crack, right? And a crackhead made it, and he was a billionaire. He knew how to supply everything. He ran the streets, and then he just became a billionaire, and he had his own facility making crack. He would be the most successful crackhead.
You think the mom's and pop shop of crack, bro? You didn't hear about my Uncle Tony's crack shop, bro? It's a little crack shop. It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
It's Tom and Tony's little crack in the mall. That's what it is, bro. Just a little crack in the mall.
It's just a little crack won't
Fuck,
hurt.
bro. No, I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't buy people's bullshit as much as they want me to, and you know, I'll be friendly, but in the reality of the situation is 9 times out of 10, I'm just sitting here like, oh, okay, I know what they're doing right now because I used to do that shit myself. When it comes to like hiding who you really actually are, and it's mind blowing, bro. Once you start
I
to
wanna
realize
dive into
that
that real
most people are
quick.
doing the exact same shit, it's crazy.
Could I cut you off real quick? What if I want to go
Yeah,
on
yeah.
two separate things. So the first thing, what do you mean you don't believe in your true, like, the inner self? What do you
Okay,
mean about that?
again, so like the inner self, right? You could separate that into like let's slice that in half, right? On the one half, you have like the whole spiritual side of things. Okay, fine. We're not even gonna get into that topic. But when we're talking about just the inner mind, the mentality, the thought processes, the psychology, most of that stuff is just memories and then like things that you like and things that you don't like. Now, things that you don't like can obviously just be memories again, and things that you like can also be, but like personality is just like little quirks about you mixed with like shit that you like and you don't like. I don't know what to say other than like you can learn to like black licorice, right? Maybe you hate it, but you can learn to like it. I I don't believe that the inner self is the actual reality that most people think it is, when in reality, the actual self that is you is reflected directly on your physical outer like body. Like if I see somebody that has like smoker's wrinkles around their lips, I know that they smoked. Like they smoked. It's they can pretend that they didn't because they stopped smoking, but that's still a part of their physical body. They engraved it into them. And it's just the inner, I don't know, I just don't believe that the inner reality is like a reality.
Well,
It's just
it's not really a
manifested
reality, but
nonsense
it's
of the
like
mind.
your inner world pretty much, like all your emotions, all the thoughts and everything, all this shit just all bunched in yourself,
Yeah, so
like
like
your ego.
yeah, but the chemical reactions in your body, which make up your emotional states, are reflected based on two things. Are you taking care of yourself and your surroundings? Like, are you meeting your criterial needs, right? Like,
Hmm.
you do you have water, food, air, fucking clothes, a nice location to live, and like somehow to make money to provide yourself with all the things that you need out of those things, right? And of course, maybe some entertainment on the side, right?
Hmm.
So if you get those things at least decently in order, your emotional states shouldn't be that much of a problem unless you've been through some crazy trauma. But
Hmm.
the crazy trauma is an outside thing. Like, you don't internally experience trauma. You experience it from the outside first, and then it goes inside you.
Hmm.
I mean, unless you get shot from the inside somehow, but I don't know.
That shit's going outside
Like,
or
I
staying
don't,
inside.
like I said, I don't buy it, bro. Like, a lot of people want you to think the opposite of the truth. And I don't fucking buy it, bro. I really physically cannot buy most people's bullshit. Most people will think themselves to be like amazing and worthy of all these things. And then if you physically put them in front of a mirror, all they'll do is shit on themselves. And it's like, bro, how can you be great on the inside but terrible on the outside? And I'm not saying like, oh, maybe you're a fugly looking fuck, right? I'm not saying like, oh, you know, you're beautiful on the inside, outside bullshit. No, I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking like the inner reality is only a reflection of what's happening outside of you. What happens outside of you happened first. Like, and people don't want to fucking grasp that. That the universe existed before the meat brain that holds the you that you are inside of it. So all the things outside of you had to happen before you could happen. The only reason you happen is because it's a blender of a whole filled with a whole bunch of shit that happened in your life. And the only way that you can get like away from any of that and fix any of that is by first fixing your basic requirements of life, and then fucking cutting the bullshit. Stop
Yeah,
pretending like it's not your responsibility to fix your fucking life.
that shit. I.
Your alarm went off.
Yeah. Uh, shit. Well, I thought I lived in my damn inner reality pretty much, where I thought everything, like, I thought all the thoughts that you have, like, all my thoughts pretty much controlled me pretty much throughout my entire life.
Yeah, but
I
like,
feel.
but you got to think about it like this, right? The language in which the thoughts are processed, your internal monologue, is based off of English because you're an English speaking person. So
Yeah.
the very words and phrases that you learned were learned from somebody else,
Yeah.
namely your parents. So whatever phrases that you use that are negative responses that are looping in your head are mostly gained from either parents or teachers, the ones that taught you the language. So a lot of people only think negatively because they were only taught negative thought processes. because the English itself was an outside thing. You didn't invent your own language, you learned it. So again, a lot of these things, all of these things about yourself are all learned, bro. The reality is the only thing that you actually are on the inside is just a consciousness, like a camera floating there sitting and recording. That's literally all most people actually, that's all any of us really are. But depending on what the recording is what you're gonna end up with. Like, you're gonna end up with a great movie, or you're gonna end up with a horrible movie.
Yeah.
And none of that's internal. All of it's external, bro. Once you stop, most people stay really messed up their whole life because they're battling their internal demons.
Oh, yeah.
But every single person, and check this out. Every single person that's turned their life around and now have great, amazing, fantastic lives and are happy as hell, didn't do that by fighting their internal demons. It's because they changed their external circumstances.
Yup.
So what the fuck are you fighting your internal dragons when you can be defeating the external ones? The internal ones, it's important to learn how to get rid of those, but most of that can be gotten rid of by meditation and medication. Like, it is what it is.
That shit rhymes. Medication and meditation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you're so far gone.
And rejuvenation. No, never mind.
I guess some rehabilitation, I guess, if we want to keep the rhymes up. But no, like, yeah, just,
Exactly.
be so, be. And by the way, another fun fact, like, everybody goes to therapy, and that's great. Go to that therapy, but realize all you're doing at that therapy is learning positive thought processes. You're learning positive language, positive reinforcement.
I don't feel like that does anything for you, though.
And it does, though, bro, because like I said, if all you've learned is negative language, if all you've ever been around is negative language your whole life,
Yeah.
and suddenly you learn the language, let's say positive language. Let's break it down. If all you know is Chinese and you can't speak to any of the Spanish people around you, and all the Spanish people around you are billionaires and millionaires, and all you had to do to become a billionaire or a millionaire is learn Spanish, then why the fuck wouldn't you learn Spanish? If all you know is negative language, then you gotta learn how to do positive language. And you gotta learn how to accept that, man. But again, I just don't believe the internal world's real, bro. It's just a mishmash of, like, random shit that got stuck in your brain.
It's just all your thoughts just in there, combined into one, just laying there, like swirling around, keep on, with nowhere to go.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Let's say you're an old man. You're dying on your bed, right? You can't really get up and walk around. You can't really go out for anything. You can't really fucking you can't really learn any new skill sets because you're fucking dying. You know, you got like 6 weeks before you croak. You can't really fucking do anything besides be a slump of fucking ooze. Your eyes are too weak to see TV. Your ears are too deaf to fucking hear the TV. All you got is your brain left, right? And even that's starting to fade. What happens when that brain fades and you're just a mushy meld of flesh? You're just going to be an awareness. You're just being a consciousness that's just existing. Because that's how you start and that's how you end. All the stuff in the middle is everyone else's stuff, bro. So you can either choose to, like, learn what the best stuff that you could be doing is, and how to speak better, and how to act better, or you can just live a life of fucking woes, bro. I mean, one way or another, it doesn't bother me. If someone wants to live a life of woes, feel fucking free, but I don't read fucking sad shit all day long, bro. It's just not. I'm not gonna sit there and watch somebody's fucking YouTube series about how read. depressed their life is and how everybody hates them and woe is me. Like, God, what the fuck, bro? I just got
It's
off
like
work.
the
Like, why
music
would I?
and shit.
You know?
Like everybody,
It's boring. I
everybody
hate
thinks
that.
sadness. I talked to a lot of people. They just listen to sad stuff all the time, and listen to sad music. And like, I'm like,
Yeah,
where the fuck are you? What's going on here?
yeah.
Like,
And then, and you know what? The best parties are held with the most fucking banger ass songs. And what are the most banger ass songs? You know, what are they? I'm happy. Fucking happy, pumped up, hardcore, badass fucking beats that make you want to get up and actually do something. Imagine going to a party
yeah.
and like only sad fucking Billie Eilish type music is fucking playing, bro.
I'd walk out the
Everybody would
bitch
be
like I don't
bummed
give a
out. They'd all be
shit.
sitting on the couch. Yeah, that party's gonna die in like 45 minutes, bro. Like tops. And then all that's gonna be left is like 3 emo kids doing heroin. Like, I don't know what the fuck to say,
Emo
bro.
kids. I like it. I like it. I like
Look,
it.
all I'm saying is you could you could live a life of suffering and be like a fucking loser like everybody else and be boring as fuck, or you could just do the basic things that you're supposed to do, that you know you're supposed to do, that you want to do, that you beat yourself up over not doing. Just do them. Just do like the fun, you know, and have fun doing them. Like, gee, you know, like fuck, man. I can't explain it any better than that. Like, it's boring as shit talking to somebody that can't wash their own clothes, I guess.
Somebody can't wash their own clothes.
for
Yeah.
real.
That is good shit right there. I like it. I
Okay.
like it a lot. I mean, you explained it excellent, pretty much. I like it. There's no other way to explain that shit. I
Well, it's
mean,
because I caught on to my own bullshit like 5 or 6 years ago. I was sitting there and I realized I was saying the same shit every single day in my brain all the time, and I would just go. And one day it just clicked in my head. I was like, wait a second, wait. Why am I like arguing with a fucking image in my head? What the fuck am I doing? Like,
not that.
who-
Why
who
am I arguing with
with
myself?
right now? Exactly, because that's all it is.
Wait, what do you mean by arguing though?
You ever have like you ever have like a bad day and you just start like repeating negative shit all day long in your head, and then you start getting in a real bad mood, and then you'll start like thinking of like an instance where somebody pissed you off, and then you'll have like an argument against that person in your head. Yeah, it's that, bro. Like, it's just you're arguing with yourself. There's nobody else in the room with you, right? So 9 times out of 10. It's just being pissed off to be
Fuck
pissed
me.
off. That's and it's lame. It's lame to live like that. It's lame
see
to have a
myself
fucking
It really
house
is,
full
though.
of dirty dishes.
I see myself having that so many damn times. My God, it was disgusting. Just arguing with yourself and nothing. Just you there sitting,
Well, dude,
wasting time.
imagine living like some of these motherfuckers. I feel really bad for, man. They'll be 60 years old. I got an employee that works for me. He literally every day comes in. He's 60 fucking 3 or something.
Damn.
He'll come in every day,
Yeah.
complain about how lonely he is. Show me like videos of like
This is
women that are hitting him up on Facebook, and he'll talk about things like, "Oh, if she just comes and lives with me, everything will be better." And I'm just like, bro, you've already failed. You already failed your life, bro. You drank, smoked, and fucked around your entire life, and now when you're 60 years old, you want to get it together. You have to go in for 10 surgeries every couple of months because your fucking body's failing you. You have to take 16 pills a day. Like, bro, you failed. You failed. You're a boring fucking person. You go home, you lay on your couch, you watch TV, you fucking eat garbage food, you don't have fucking teeth, you smell like shit, you don't know how to wash your clothes properly, you live in a beat down fucking trailer, you don't make more than fucking minimum wage. You're fucking lazy as hell. You can't get your fucking job done right. You're too fucking stupid to actually like think because you've never thought in your life. You don't know how the internet works, so you get scammed by a bunch of bot bitches. But here's the thing. I'm never mean to the guy because he's already failed. There's no reason to tell the guy the truth anymore because it's never going to get better for him.
And
He's gonna
Danny,
die
that
in,
is
like, the
that
next
is
year or two.
truly how everybody like thinks. They don't want to end up like that person, right? No one wants to end up like that crazy person, like with nothing going for them whatsoever. Everything's just done with them. That's everybody's like nightmare almost, I would say. Like a terrible, terrible nightmare. And no one would want
But
to
that's
end
how
up like
most
that.
people are leading their lives. Most people are leading their lives like that. They'll say, "Oh, I'm just gonna do this tomorrow," or "I'm gonna do this next week," and it's like, bro, listen, there isn't a next week because one day you're gonna be a 60-year-old person, if you're lucky, and you're gonna be sitting there thinking about all the times you ate mac and cheese instead of fucking eating a salad. And you're gonna fucking think about like all the time you wasted watching TV, all the fucking cigars and cigarettes and pot and fucking drinks that you fucking consumed, all the wasted time that you were around all these fucking assholes that you hated being around. And it's like, dude, that's most people. Most people are leading their lives like that, and then they're gonna get to a point where they're fucking in that stage. And they're gonna be like, I can finally turn my life around because I've lived this for so long, and I finally realized that. And I'm like, bro, that's it. You don't get it. Like it's over. You're next to retirement and next to death. Like it's over. It's game over, bro.
But it's mostly just putting it off, though, sometimes. Like, I see myself, like, putting stuff off, maybe going to YouTube, like, oh, I'll get it done in a second. Another YouTube, something else. Like, always putting shit off to the side. Like, you can do it easy, like, shit, but you're putting it off to the side. I don't know why. It's the best thing for you.
You don't.
The best possible thing.
Because you don't want to do that. Because you don't want to do it, right?
It's
Because
so
you don't
good for
actually
you.
want to do it. Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not about convincing yourself to do things, because it's never going to work, right? Nobody's ever going to convince
no.
themselves to be successful and do the right things. It's just do them. Stop looking for motivation, because here's the thing: if you're not already motivated to do something, then you're not going to fucking do
throwing
it.
shade.
The motivation is the action. The motivation is the action.
I feel on motivation. I've seen so many fucking motivators. Like, you gotta do this. You gotta wake up in the morning. You gotta grind for it.
No,
grind
bro.
for it. Grind for it.
Don't even
Do this.
don't
Do
even
this
get
now.
me
Now.
started.
Now. I
Yeah, Sway.
Those
You're
YouTubers, bro. Those fucking. You gotta wake up in the morning and tell yourself that you got this, because success is key, and you know that every day you wake up in the morning, the sun won't be shining whenever you. This and that, like they just preaching, bro.
and I gotta say,
yeah.
fuck all of that. That's not gonna help you. You can watch that shit, eat chips, be on the couch, and just do nothing at all. Just lay there, look at it, and then switch to another YouTube video and just say fuck you. You just relax.
Yeah, that's how you get on.
bro.
What are those called?
And
That's
you
called,
want to know the things that
death-
that fucking trip
death
me out
scrolling or
too?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. The shit that trips me out though, Danny, is the people that are like, I'm gonna show you how to make $10,000 a month.
Love those fucking
my God,
ads.
bro.
Oh my god, I skipped them right away.
Bro, no, it's not even ads, bro. It's videos, bro. Like, they're like, oh, I'm gonna show you how to make $10,000 a month doing this. This is my story. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how I did it. And then in the end, they're with this bullshit talking about some. Hey guys, make sure to follow and subscribe, and please click on the link if you guys want to learn how I actually did it step by step. There is a link to my course where I actually show you, and it is my mentorship program of bullshit and blah 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 blah.
Hold up, swag,
Yeah,
swag,
well, my
swag.
favorite thing about
I
those
got you,
fucking
I got
things-
you, I got you. Hold up. It's like, yo, I read a book every guys. If you want to learn how to make millions of dollars, I read. This is my lifestyle. I read a book every day, drink a martini in my lug, and eat some linguine in my Ferrari. I read.
Yep, that ass, bro.
You just got this brand new Lamborghini, but you know what I like better than Lamborghinis? Knowledge.
My bookshelf, bro. No, listen, I've read a book every day for like the past fucking 10 years. And I'm gonna be real with you, bro. It's the exact same thing as just
Certain
watching
books
YouTube
get
all
you
day long.
rich. Certain books get you rich.
Nah,
though.
listen.
Certain.
And that's true. You can get a good mindset. Here's the thing. It's the exact same thing with most of these fucking internet gurus. Let's be real with the financial gurus. All they're doing
Yeah,
is
well, they're
motivational
bullshit.
mindset. They're just motivational mindset videos.
NLP as well.
Yeah, they're just using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to
Mm-hmm.
basically invent a cult personality and get a huge following so that they can get you to subscribe to their shit. And here's the thing about it,
Yeah.
man. If you really just listen to them, I swear to God, like you open their videos, they're like, "I'll teach you 10 ways, 10 things about making money today." And what do they teach you? Like exercise, sleep, fucking eat right, read books, fucking what's the other ones? Invest in crypto, which is a terrible fucking idea. Anybody that believes that investing in crypto is a great long-term strategy is a fucking idiot. Short term? Yeah, sure, for sure. Short term, you can make a quick buck. Long term, terrible fucking choice. Terrible choice.
Everything's a scam.
Wait, for
Everything's
what?
a
For
scam.
what?
And what's the other
Wait, for
ones?
what again? For what? Wait, what business model, sorry?
What do you mean?
Business.
Wait,
What?
what were you talking about? I was thinking about something. Sorry.
I was talking about like just business gurus and themselves. Because like the reality is they never
What you
actually
said 10
teach
seconds
you
ago, though. I paid attention to everything but
About the
10 seconds
crypto?
ago. Yeah, crypto.
about the
yeah.
crypto. Oh, it's a terrible long-term investment. It's an okay short-term
Yeah.
investment if you know how to flip it quickly. But as a long-term investment, terrible choice. Terrible
Oh,
fucking
100%.
choice.
100%.
Well, it's a
100%.
long.
I agree.
If you do long term, it's gonna go down, and it's just gonna be nothing. It's just might worth nothing at all, and just people forget
Yeah.
about it. You invested
Yep.
so much money to nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. Also, I've tried the. You guys are still streaming, right?
Still podcast.
Oh, you can go ahead and say it, bro.
You can
You're
say
gonna
whatever
the
you want,
Andrew
man.
Tate
Listen, it's
course.
free, man.
Yeah. Let us hear it, bro. How'd it go? How'd it go, bro? How'd it go?
I'm
Okay,
not gonna
before
lie,
you say
bro,
anything,
it's-
before you say anything, understand that when you do sign up for their course, you are contractually obligated to not explain exactly what's in there. You can vaguely go into detail. I have read their contract before, just for funsies. So just don't explain what you saw
Bro, the
in there.
TOS.
Just explain the general idea. Yeah. And how it worked out for you.
It's good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, to be honest, it's definitely like really, really cool. I like how there's like so much business models, and there's like a lot of professors that actually teach you stuff, bro.
Hold up, we didn't even
Deadass?
explain.
But
We didn't even explain.
yeah,
what
but the
he's
professors
doing.
don't necessarily respond because you have to go to the ask thing, and then like there, like a lot to think about it. There's a lot of students having questions, and that are new to the server and whatnot.
Wait, swag.
And
What is it
so-
called again?
Yeah. The real world.
Yeah, he's in the real world type shit with Andrew Tate. He's learning about. And what are you actually? What are
I'm
you
not gonna lie to
basing
you
on?
though. I'm considering, like, I'm considering going full time in the real world, but let me make my
Badass?
research first. Yeah, what I mean, like, I feel like it'd probably be the greatest decision ever, to be honest.
What do you mean by full time? How are you? What are you doing right now? Like part time and like trying to like if you
Because
about that shit?
the real world is like a university. It's literally a college. It's literally a college class to fucking being rich. No bullshit. To how to make money. Like they teach you, they give you various business models. You learn them step by step, right?
Hmm.
And then you take those courses. If you have any questions, you talk to the professor. After that, once you know what you're doing, once you master the class, you apply that, right? And then you to like, you know, the real world, like literally the real world, not the website. You apply that to the real world in business, and you see yourself making, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and you're done. That's it.
And it was insane though because you actually somebody.
Hey, Roy. Welcome to the stream, by the way.
Yeah, welcome
What's
to
up, Ray?
stream. Be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing a podcast right now.
Can you come over here, Andy? Am I out of the schmeimal?
You guys keep it up. Keep talking about the real world. I'm actually rather
I
interested
got you.
in
I
that
got you.
because half of me always said it's like a psyop, but then the other half of me is like, okay, it might not be a psyop.
Bro, it's a funny ass thing too, bro. Cause remember, Rising, the guy was like, bro, the dude was like, yo, I'm fucking rich as fuck, this and that. I'm like, bro, you're broke as shit. Shut up. I'm like, bro, if you're rich, bro, you slide $100 right now, Cash App. And he's like, you sure about that? He's like, I don't mind donating to the poor. Shit, I was like, hey, I'd appreciate it, bro. I'm broke as shit. And so like he gives the fucking what you call it, bro? He gives the $100 on Cash App. He's like, the ramen noodle one. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, let me check. This man got to be lying type shit. I check my phone. Ding. That shit said Bond has donated $100. I was like, what the fuck?
That shit was
I was
crazy.
like, this man really donated $100. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. But at the end of the day, it makes sense though. It's believable. No random person that is middle class or even like, you know, just in general, yeah, middle class or in the poor class would donate $100 out of nowhere online. Nobody. But
Yeah,
the
'cause,
fact,
like, here's
considering
the
the fact
thing.
that he carelessly donated $100, considering the fact that he donated that shit carelessly, like no hesitation, like he treated that shit like it was Trump change. Deadass. Like he donated me $100 like if it was $1 to him. I'm being
That's what
deadass.
I'm saying. Like, so I'm aware I was there, but here's the thing, man. Like, everybody wants to this is the craziest part, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to like assume, and it's really easy to assume stuff like that could be like a scam, right?
Yep.
But you really, and it's so easy to assume that it's a scam because all the fucking internet gurus and shit. But like, fuck, bro. Like, I mean, it's just like, don't get me wrong. I'm almost really half tempted to sign up for it myself and see what's going on in there.
What do you
I'm
mean by
really
sign? What is it
tempted
called?
more and more.
Sign.
So, a
What is it?
psyop? A psyop?
Psyop. Yeah. What is that? Is that like like another word for
basically, like,
bullshit?
It's psyops are basically like a way to control people and manipulate people with false information.
Like it's a scheme, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think that guy was promoting the
don't get-
real world though, and he
Well,
gave $100?
What?
I felt like he was
So
going to
technically,
scam
he
you
wasn't
though.
promoting it.
I thought he was gonna
He
scam
was.
you
He
with
gave me a
getting
different
100.
site. Dandy,
Yeah.
he gave me a different fucking site.
Not just that, not just that. When I thought when he was gonna scam you because like people do $100 or some shit like, and then they might like get your information from a Cash App, something like that, and then might network that.
No,
off
they
your
can't do
bank.
that. No, they can't. It's Cash App. They can't do that shit, bro. It's just Cash App.
Because you connect your bank into the Cash App, they can hack into your account type shit. Like people can do
No,
that if
dude.
they get your name. Like if you ask Dandy, it's
Well,
dirty shit.
No, if people have, bro, people have your cash tag, but that's it. You can't, bro. That's like saying, oh, let me go on the PayPal and let me just, oh, I have his PayPal's user, his PayPal.me, so let me just go hack his account. It's not how it works.
Dude, I feel
You
it's
don't get-
possible if you're that fucking smart. I feel like it's very possible. If you have the
Dandy,
So
Yeah,
like,
username.
fucking
here's the
possible,
thing. This
bro.
is this. Listen. Maybe I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Maybe they use like a packet sniffer or something. But that's not the
Packet
point.
sniffer.
The reality is like something like that. Again, when you were saying like the middle and lower class, I'm almost guaranteeing
Yeah,
you.
bro.
99% of people in the lower and middle class, firstly, 99% of people in the lower and middle class already don't believe most things. If you talk to like some lower class person about the benefits of exercise, swear to
the
God,
motherfuckers
most
in
of
the-
them are gonna pretend like it doesn't exist.
The motherfuckers in the middle class, bro. Like, I mean, I'm in the middle class, but people in let me change that. People in the middle class mindset are fucking mentally trained and brainwashed into thinking that
Well,
college is the only way out.
But you know why
like
though?
that's the whole theory of like
Do you know why, Swag?
Yeah,
you
that's
know
the
I
whole
know.
theory of like bullshit.
fucking
Right?
school in general. Everybody taught us that. That's from growing from
So
little
here's the
college
thing,
growing
I-
up.
Exactly,
thing
but
that I learned
look at
about it,
millionaires
right?
though. Look at the other millionaires that live over here, fucking in Miami Beach and shit in Hollywood.
They
didn't
had a
fucking go to
different way.
school.
They
Like,
grew up.
Well, some of
Different,
them,
like
but
No,
Here's the thing.
some grew up broke as shit. You have to understand that.
no,
A
but
lot of millionaires grew up broke,
thought
like,
patterns were
grew up.
different. They like grew up like on like different people. They
Well, yeah,
format themselves with.
that's the same way. That's the same way I'm thinking. I'm thinking about them myself.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. But some people are just like sheep, and then they follow what the government has placed for them. Then they work that middle class, and they're
Yeah.
poor.
well, so
Well,
like
yep.
here's the thing that I heard just a little bit ago, right? Because I had a weird question. I don't remember the question, but I know it was a really good one. But the answer that I inevitably got was, I think it was, why do people live why are Americans living such dumb, repetitive lives, or some nonsense like that, right? Because I was just burned out one day and I was doom scrolling, basically, right? And so I fucking looked this up, and there was just this one asshole on a Reddit forum that said something that kind of stuck with me, and it went along the lines of, people mostly don't think about anything. For the most part, they allow the culture and the area that they grew up in to dictate how they think. Almost like how you get a training regimen from like a physical trainer,
Yeah.
and then you fucking just follow that program, and that's
Nah,
all you
it's-
do.
Exactly.
Well, like,
it's
let's say
like
you
the it's like
let's
the
say you wanted to be a
sheep
gym,
leading
yeah,
It's a fucking sheep, and they're getting led by the damn shepherd.
but it's like. But the shepherd is literally just everyone else, because like everybody always goes, oh, they're trying to control us. But if you really look at who they are, it's one of three things. It's either something racist, the alien government that people like
The alien
conspiracize about. I swear to God, people will be like, oh, it's the government and they're all aliens and stuff. But the government officials are doing the exact same shit as we are. All right. The reality is, I really firmly believe that the they in the whole like matrix theory idea is just everybody. It's just everybody, bro.
Just
Like
everybody.
people all have shitty mindsets, and they just feed each other this toxic loop cycle of like self-projection and self-hate.
So is this around the circle?
You know, they're just like,
Everybody-
I don't.
It's not the government, but the people in general, just feed other people knowledge, other people like shit. That's shouldn't even be a thing. Like aliens are,
you know, if you
aliens
see a
are
guy
like
in a
getting people.
Lamborghini,
Aliens are probing people.
if
type
you see
shit.
a guy in a Lamborghini, if you see a guy in a Lamborghini, you go, "Oh, fuck that guy," instead of, "Oh, I should go learn from that guy." Right? Like a lot of people.
Bro, if I
act
see a
like
guy
that.
in the Lamborghini, bro, I'll be like, yo, what do you do for a living, man?
Let me throw a rock at his car. The first thing to the government. Fucking rah, type shit.
Oh my
The
god.
aliens,
you.
the aliens are controlling us, bro.
The aliens gave him the
being
car.
served.
The aliens. Where are the aliens at? They're getting probing people.
No, I swear, I promise though, most people's problems just come from like, bro, I just don't see how anybody pulls themselves out of a toxic mindset by sitting in their toxic mindset. I don't know, bro. I can't.
It
say it
doesn't
any other
work.
way
Yeah,
than
yeah.
that.
You can't do nothing about it. If you're in a toxic mindset, you're gonna stay there. But if you positively like put like positive shit in your mind, you're gonna think positive. And you're gonna
And
wear
then
little
another weird
combs.
thing is that
You're gonna wear combs that are.
look, the weirdest thing I always hear. You know what my favorite psyop I've ever heard is?
Yeah,
Wait, my
yeah.
favorite psyop that's passed around from mouth to mouth. All right. Again, this is a pure projection thing that people do. They'll say money doesn't bring you happiness. Listen, here's the thing. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I hear this all the time, and people always
It
agree with
depends,
that.
it
Right?
depends.
People, no, it doesn't depend
What do you mean
at all,
depends?
bro. Money. Listen, money directly equates to level
You're
of
fucking
happiness,
telling
right?
me, bro,
That
you're
yes,
gonna be
there's a
fucking
limit.
happy, bro, working as a doctor, bro, and you're rich as fuck as a doctor, and you never wanted to be a doctor? Is that what you're telling
Let
me?
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you had $400 million in your bank account and you're unhappy being a doctor and you have $400 million, you can stop being a doctor. You can just stop.
Oh shit.
Just-
Oh
But,
shit.
but if you have
Wait.
$0,
But
but
there
if
goes
you
your
have
fucking
$0,
career, though. There goes your fucking
okay,
career.
and you have $400 million, go do something else.
Like what?
Anything. What do you want to do?
You can't go back to school.
You just go do anything, bro. You don't even have to work. You could literally just go do whatever the fuck you want. You could,
Yeah, but
you
$400
could lay in a
million
couch and
is that
sleep all day
consi-
if you want to.
Is $400 million considered financially free?
Dude, like $3 million, you're financially free.
3 million.
So if you invest
In Miami.
a few million dollars wisely, anywhere on earth, if you invest a few million dollars,
Here, I'll be right back.
not even a
right back.
million, just like a few $100,000. But listen, if you invest, let's say you had $3 million, you invested, you get 11% returns or whatever, you're good, bro. Like per month, you're good.
What
you
the
can
fuck?
you can easily
If
turn
that's
an
the
investment
case, bro,
like that.
let me just go start a dropshipping business. I make, let's say, $500,000. I do what you say, and I'm good then. Is that what you're saying?
So if you, let's say, and this is not financial advice to anybody that's wondering on the stream, but listen, let's say you did
How many viewers
go
you got
get a
right
decent. I have no idea. I think he's just recording in general. But listen, here's the thing.
Okay,
Let's say, for instance, I personally have quite a few shares in quite a few different ETFs, exchange traded funds.
now?
So about $100 in. Let's take the shittiest one I have. About $100 in that shitty ETF. This is a really bad ETF. I have good ones that give way better returns, but the worst one I have, it gives me it's about $20 per share of that one, and it gives me about 20 cents per share back per month. Now, here's the thing. I always have the money from that ETF. I could always trade it out at any point in time. So if it's running super high, I can always sell it and get money from it. I always get a monthly dividend from it. I always get a monthly dividend. So if I put $100 in there, I'm gonna get about I think it's about $1 or some shit like that. If I put $1,000 in there, it's about $10. 10,000 is about $100. 100,000 is about $1,000. A million, put another zero on that thousand. You get 10,000 a month. 3 million, you get $30,000 a month. That you're financially free easily. Most people don't see $10,000 a month. Most people see $2,000 a month. Right? You're telling me with $3 million, you do that just with ETFs. This isn't even the best way to invest $3 million. You could put it into CDs, you could put it into a million other different things. But let's say you just wanted to live off dividends and never have to do anything with it. You could do it that route. Again, not financial advice, technically. We're not giving financial advice here, but you could do it that way with $3 million. And then you could just live off dividends and have like $30,000 a month. If you have a better ETF even, you could get up to $100,000 a month.
Don't forget
in
about one
dividends.
thing, though. I want to cut
That's
you
a-
off real
that's a
quick.
fucking
Don't forget
month.
about one thing,
That's a month.
one thing only. That you should never
What's up?
invest on too much dividends.
100,000.
Never invest, like, if the percent's way high, don't invest in it. Because that company's gonna go
Yeah, that's
down.
not the same thing for ETFs though. That doesn't count for ETFs though. That does not
Does it?
count for ETFs. ETFs are a different thing. They're exchange traded funds. So essentially, and this is a really. I'm going to explain it in a very simple way. Essentially, businesses that buy and sell and trade, you're basically investing in those types of businesses. And so you're investing in the guy that's making money off of stocks, essentially. So the guy that's making it his life decision to not lose money, that's who you're investing in. Now, is every ETF a good choice? Fuck no. But there are plenty that are really good choices. So you can go that route, and you can get crazy fucking dividend returns per month off those things because they're just overall, it's always got a risk, but they're overall less risky than just like stock-based dividends. Single stock-based dividends are one of the worst fucking choices that you can make in your life. You're not going to get shit for money back. It's risky than just like stock. Be better off just opening one of the things accounts with a 4.358 return.
Yeah.
You'd be better off doing that.
But I was
Or investing into a
definitely told
CD,
by you.
certificate of deposit, would
Sorry.
actually be a little bit of a better choice. Or
Sorry for cutting you off, but a long time ago you did tell me that companies that do give out high dividends, like payback, would probably run out. Like they're
That shit was
companies.
stupid.
yeah, but that's not true of ETFs though. That's true of some ETFs, but it's a lot less ETFs than single stocks in regular companies.
Okay.
Yeah. ETFs is a wildly new market though, man. They've only existed since I believe the late 90s. So they're relatively new compared to like most things that exist. Is that truly new? Not necessarily, but it's relatively new.
Swear you
And I might be
hold
wrong on
it.
that date. It might be like it might be late 2000s or early 2000s that ETFs
Calm
might have
down
actually
just a
shown up,
bit.
but it's roughly
Swag.
around that
Calm
time.
down just a bit before, then I'll end it.
He's going Super Saiyan on us, bro.
You going Super Saiyan, you motherfucker? Type shit.
Bro, I was just trying it out, bro. Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot, though. I like it a lot. Before I end, do you have any advice on ETFs before I end everything?
fact check the company. Make sure they have a long-standing history behind them, and really do your due diligence when it comes to the research of the particular ETF. Don't
This
just
is a beautiful
wildly
not
run
suited
into
for
them
work.
thinking you're going to make a fuck ton of money off dividends. And understand that dividend returns when it comes to ETFs aren't they're not necessarily always the fastest way to get money. They're just a really reliable way to get money. Again, it comes with more risk than something like a certificate of deposit, though, obviously.
Yep.
But there's always
It
risk
does,
to
though.
everything.
And you do have any advice like what apps you should get, or is it just like an online based?
I mean, like Webull, Robinhood. Obviously, if you're dealing with millions of dollars, you should probably just go with a
Webull has always been like
financial
sponsored.
institution. You
To
should
be
always just
honest,
go with
yeah.
a financial institution of your own. None of
Yeah.
your own necessarily, but like you go to an actual broker if you're dealing with millions of dollars. But
Yeah,
if you're just dealing with like a couple of grand, yeah, like Webull or Robinhood would be fine.
that's not
Oh,
bad.
and always remember, if you live in America and you're doing you're doing stocks and stuff like that, you can always claim your losses on your doing stocks and stuff like that. You can always whatever else you didn't claim from the previous year onto the next year, and you can continuously do that forever. So
Man, like-
don't be afraid to lose a little bit of money at first. Just don't go crazy, like don't risk your whole livelihood if you don't know what you're doing. If it looks like gambling, then you don't know enough about what you're doing. Is basically
You can
the
have
gist
that
of
as
it.
a tax write off, right? You're saying?
Losses, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and try to hold on to returns for like up to 2 years or whatever. Try to hold a stock to like a year or two so that the capital gains tax will be a lot less.
That's good. That's where we're gonna end this. Thanks, guys, for watching the podcast, and peace out. Holy hell, mate, that was terrible.
Toss my cigarette right back and forth between my hands.
Yeah, you good.